being successful in New York to deciding to not only start a family, but mainly to start a business that allows other gay couples, single women, heterosexual couples have children.
I just remember thinking one day, I literally woke up and I remember turning to you in the bedroom and I was like, Kyle, I think that we can do this. I think I can do this a little bit better and really improve upon this and make this easier for people and maybe even joyful. I mean, our experience was so rough. I didn't want anybody else to go through that. Genuinely, I didn't.
Again, age requirements, usually under 40, have given birth to their own children that they're raising, but we have to have full medical histories because kind of how Taylor was saying, it's really about kind of assessing risk.
I literally think I have at least one client in almost every country.
There's absolutely no shame in having that desire. You're really just trying to do what most people have a fairly easy time doing.
I don't know what can top that. It was just an incredible feeling knowing that I helped make that happen.
So speaking of a project together, you have a big project together because you have a 13-month-old daughter,
yes.
Right?
Well, you know, Kyle and I run an assistive reproductive service called Elevate, and we helped thousands of couples to conceive and have a child, and finally we realized it was our turn, so we brought a baby girl into the world.
I think you guys are geniuses with what you're doing, but it's also about representation, especially when you talk about the LGBTQ plus community.
The two main people just happen to be guys. That's kind of where it stops.
But luckily there is an LGBTQ focused smaller agency. Elevate Baby is their name. Awesome people. Kyle Dean Massey is the founder, Taylor Fry. So anyway, they're really good.
I was reading up about this and it said it's the gold standard of egg donors in the world of egg donation. First of all, why did you guys want to do this?
Well, we went through the process ourselves several years ago, and we found it to be incredibly challenging to find a donor that kind of met our standards and excited us about the process.
When you're the intended mother and you're already coming to terms with replacing your own genetics, I mean, you've got to supply them with a pretty stellar option to get them on board with the process to be like, okay, if not me, then her. Yeah. She's great.
It's better. After being through it and finding the challenges, help people out. And it became a passion project at first, but then it quickly blew up into something much.
They wish they would have found us sooner because it would have saved them a lot of time and a lot of stress, and that is super fulfilling and satisfying for us.
This is, by the way, video of your team, and it's such a beautiful, have such an interesting background too. Can you tell us about the IVF firm that you started called Elevate?
Yeah, so I went through this process to expand my own family, and I just found it to be incredibly discouraging. And I just remember thinking, I think this can be done with a little more finesse.
You founded a company called Elevate, right? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's an assisted reproduction agency. So we help LGBT couples like us build their families through egg donors and surrogates. It's an amazing business. There's nothing like it.
How rewarding is that?
It is. There's a few sleepless nights, to be sure. Sometimes I feel like I'm going through IVF like 500 times a year myself, just because you invest in their journeys. And now that, you know, we started this before we had a child, like some 7-8 years ago, and now that I have her, it's very clear. Yeah, I'm like reinvigorated by the work, and it's amazing. I realized these conversations are important, and then I just felt invigorated. I felt this fire to remain visible. As long as you can just keep pushing forward on your path and telling your story, I think we will touch more hearts than not.
The pair fell in love while working on Broadway. They got married and then started a family, now parents to daughter Rafa.
Rafa. Peekaboo. I wake up every day now with even a little bit more pep in my step. I know it sounds cliche, like I know it sounds cheesy, but being a dad is just, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
It's so exciting just having a little person in the house. Like you get to really relive Christmas through the eyes of a child. People say that all the time, but it's true. You see it happening. You know, every time we walk past our Christmas tree, she goes, "Tree, tree." So it's really sweet. I think fatherhood has been more exciting and wonderful and filled with love than either of us even expected. And Taylor's a great dad. I love being a parent with him. And
just to hold on. I know this is a tough time, but just keep going, one foot in front of another, because it will improve, and there's a beautiful life ahead of you.
Welcome to the Lady Gang.
Well, first and foremost, every single agency was like blue or pink and purple and angel wings and
Right.
delivering babies to mothers from heaven. And for men like us, it just felt alienating. It felt
like, where
built
am
for
I in
people.
this? Sure.
Yeah, and you could see a few photos of donors of varying quality. The information seemed really limited. I just wanted to get a better look at who the person was that we were going to enlist to help our family. Yeah, and the truth is, you know, I hope this comes across how I mean it, but I think we created that.
Right.
Us and a couple other programs. I really do. There's a new generation of men like us who want to go through this, and young women who want to be properly informed about what their choices are and what their power can be in the future. When they have those choices, it can dip into the choices they made before, freezing their eggs or doing genetic mutation testing for a future healthy pregnancy. People are very interested in this, and our goal is just to create a program that appealed to everybody.